YouTube, man. It's Rico. I'm back with another video, man. Y'all see what we got going on, man. We got Glokk 9 released from jail just days after Afnf Metemo was freed and killed. It's crazy, man. When I seen this video pop up, I was like, damn, I gotta react to this because it's crazy. I never expected, nobody pretty much expected Glokk 9 to get out when he did, pretty much at the end of the day, because we already know he in jail. He was in jail for a lot of charges, and a lot of people really thought he was going to be up in there for a good minute, probably down there the whole majority of this year down there. So this is crazy and breaking news to me, to be honest. So y'all already know what time it is, man. But before we even get started, man, if you're brand new to the channel or you've been watching videos on the channel but for some reason not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button right now, man, because we do nothing but post bangers on the channel. Also tell your friends and family about us if they be watching YouTube videos and enjoy type of content like this. So hopefully they'll become supporters of the channel and become part of the 5K grind. Also make sure when y'all do that, y'all smash the like button and comment on the video to help this video get recommended to a larger audience of people and hopefully bring in new supporters as well to the channel. Other than that, man, y'all know what time it is. So let me start this screen record now. I starting the video now.
Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 10 out of Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. Before I start this video, I just wanted to give a big shout out to everybody that's been rocking with the channel, those that have just found the channel. We just hit 300,000 subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you. For this video, we're going to be speaking on Orlando rapper Glokk 9 and how he was just released from jail only days after one of his close friends, Afnf Metemo, was killed after being released.
And the crazy thing is, like I said earlier, we wasn't even expecting him to get out anytime soon because of the charges he had and the way everything was sounding at the time when he was arrested. Like, pretty much it wasn't really no signs of him getting out. But this is, like I said, breaking news. But the crazy thing is, he getting out literally just days after his friend got killed, one of his closest friends at that. So I already know he going through it, man. And on top of that, the timing of him getting a release, it's like they both could have been out together right now and celebrating or whatever the case was, because his friend just turned 21. The day of his birthday, he pretty much got killed. So they could have been celebrating together and stuff like that. But unfortunately, that happened, and he pretty much is coming out already to some negative stuff going on. So let's just hope he don't do nothing too crazy to the point where he got to go back to jail and stuff like that, man. But we gonna see, man, because he do got a long history and stuff. And if he get arrested again, I'm pretty sure they're going to try to keep him even longer this time because of the charges he had before and stuff. And then if he rack up some new charges or something crazy like that, then they definitely going to take a look at that and be like, all right, see, we made a mistake. But I don't know, man. We just going to have to wait and see. But let's continue.
Now, with every negative, there's a positive, and vice versa. Only 3 days ago, Afnf member Metemo was just shot and killed just hours after being released from jail on bail for a first-degree murder charge in what's described by law enforcement as a gang-related killing. Afnf and the rival 438 have made back-to-back headlines throughout the past few months over numerous shootings and killings. In April of 2020, Metemo was arrested for the shooting death of Wolf Luma. The day of Wolf's funeral service, a drive-by took place on a group that had just left the service.
Dexter Rentz had all the makings to be a big-time playmaker for the Louisville Cardinals. Rentz racked up 1,700 all-purpose yards last year at Ocoee High School in Orlando, scoring touchdowns receiving, rushing, and on special teams. But all that was cut short around 11 Saturday night. Orlando police responded to a shooting in the city's Carver Shores neighborhood. 4 people, including Rentz, had been shot. Rentz was the only victim who died, and police are still piecing together what led up to the shooting.
Another one had pretty much damn near his future right there ahead of him and stuff. If he would have went to college, balled out like he did in high school, potentially could have went to the NFL. Crazy, man. These streets don't play, man. If you got the potential to do something, stay away from it. Try to. And if you know you got friends or buddies that run the streets and stuff, try to limit yourself in what you do with them. Because at the end of the day, if you go anywhere and you get spotted by their ops, they're going to look at you as you're one of them as well. They don't care if you really are in the gang or not. They just know that you with they ops. So you could pretty much be another person that they going after at the end of the day. And like I said too, bullets do not discriminate. It don't matter if you an innocent person or not. They come, period. And that's just the sad truth about the streets. But let's continue.
Named Jeremiah Robinson was the suspected shooter. July 7th, 2020, Van Sean Smith, who's described by police as the second in command of the 438 gang, had just stepped outside of a home in the Pine Hills neighborhood of Orlando. He saw two men approaching in a vehicle, both members of the rival AFNF gang, according to law enforcement. The passenger in the car rolled the window down and started shooting. Van Sean grabbed a rifle, fired back, and struck the passenger, Jeremiah Robinson, in the back of his head. He died in the hospital days later. This was the third death tied to the gang dispute, and the man who was driving the vehicle was charged with a felony murder for committing a crime that resulted in his own friend's death. That same month, Glokk 9 would be charged with 5 attempted murders for allegedly shooting up Orlando rapper Cutum Reese's house. Reese's mom would go on to tell police that the two rival rappers are cousins, according to police reports.
Damn, so this is a whole nother situation. I didn't even know about this information right here. Man, that just make it even more crazy. But one thing I can say, this is nothing new. And if y'all know about the streets, man, y'all know it's some family members that literally are on opposite sides and stuff, and they be beefing with each other and stuff at the end of the day. So it's just crazy that if he really did do this, he pretty much damn near killed his own cousin and his aunt, or whatever you want to call her, depending on the relationship as far as the parents between the two. So there ain't no telling. She could be a cousin or auntie or whatever the case is. I'm pretty sure it's an auntie though, but that's just crazy, man. Let me make sure I heard that right though, cause that's just add more like insight to the beef, man. Y'all cousins, but y'all on opposite sides, and ultimately, that's what's more important to y'all is the beef between the opposite sides instead of being family and being one of those that's on opposite sides but somewhat cool because of the fact that they got personal ties to each other and pretty much could come to a equal standing ground at the end of the day just based off of that personal relationship. But sometimes it don't happen like that, and it is what it is though. So we're gonna have to see, man. But they already got too much going on. But I feel like if you got a cousin on the opposite side, y'all should try to limit the beef between y'all at least, just because y'all actually blood. That's how I look at it, but I already know that ain't how everybody else is gonna see it though.
Reese's mom would go on to tell police that the two rival rappers are cousins, according to police reports. August 5th, a 14-year-old was shot and killed in a drive-by. A still shot picture from a video showing a man hanging out of a car window with an AK-47 styled weapon. 2 days later, Van Sean Smith was leaving a mall when police decided to move in on him to make an arrest relating to the previous shooting he was involved in back in July. Van Sean surrendered, but a man with Van Sean took off running and was shot and killed by one of the officers. The video of police failing to resuscitate his lifeless body was posted to YouTube by the news. A 14 and 15-year-old in Pine Hills was shot outside of a home September 22nd. The 14-year-old later dying in the hospital, and the very next day, Orlando was shaken when news broke of 3-year-old Daquan Felix Jr. being killed after a witness saw two cars pull up back to back with men hanging out of the windows opening fire on a home. The 3-year-old was fatally shot in the head.
And it's crazy. Through they beef, they literally killed multiple 14-year-olds or less. That just goes to show you, like I said, bullets don't discriminate, man. Once they start shooting, they can hit anybody, whether you a kid, a grown-up, a toddler, etc., etc. They don't discriminate.
Now, like I said in the beginning, with every negative, there's a positive. Glokk 9 received news that his close friend had been killed after just being bailed out of jail, and now Glokk 9 himself has been released after receiving a $5,000 bond on being a felon in possession of a firearm. In a separate case, he's still fighting 5 counts of attempted murder, shooting into an occupied dwelling, and another charge for being a felon in possession of a firearm. He was previously on a $36,000 bond for those charges. Aside from being free, Glokk 9 had another case dismissed in which he was charged with possessing a short-barreled rifle, and the fact that he's getting out with charges falling apart makes me think the police may just be putting whatever they can on him without enough evidence to actually convict him.
And police do be doing that too. That's another thing. So say he didn't do those cases or anything like that he got charged with, they'll still try to find a way to pin that on him just because they know he's one of those people that pretty much is in the streets and stuff that got a lot going on and stuff. So they try to find any reason they can to pretty much lock him up in jail just so they can get him off the streets and out the way. But sometimes at the end of the day, you can only make that last so long, because if you really ain't got no evidence, then the law ultimately is going to let him out on bail for something, because of the simple fact they don't have enough evidence to physically really prove that he was the one that did those crimes and stuff like that. So as long as they ain't got nothing that could really like legitimately tie down to him, lead back to him, then they got no choice but to let him off on bond, or else they could also face some legal troubles. Because if his lawyer pretty much knows what he's doing, I'm pretty sure he got a good ass lawyer too at that, they're gonna go hard at the police to be like, if you ain't got no evidence, then why is my client still sitting here in jail with y'all? Like, if y'all ain't got nothing to really charge him with, then y'all really just holding him here just because. Like, it don't make no sense. Y'all gonna have to give us a bond, or we gonna pursue other legal matters to pretty much make y'all look bad and go ahead and cost y'all money at the end of the day. So they pretty much just gonna let them out, and they gonna have to hope that they can get another way to really get them locked up in jail if they can. So it's pretty much gonna have them going back to the drawing board, like, all right, we can't keep trying to assume that he's the one that did this. Now it's already too much time that went by, and we ain't been provided enough evidence to really show that he was the one that did these crimes. So we gotta go back to the drawing board and figure out who else possibly could have did it and stuff like that. But they're gonna still have him on their hit list pretty much at the end of the day. They're gonna still have Hawkeye vision on him. They're gonna be watching his every move, and they're just gonna be waiting for him to slip up one little mistake. And no matter what it is, as soon as they arrest him, they're gonna try to hit him with some more shit. But it is what it is. We already know how the law go, man, at the end of the day. But let's continue.
After all the back and forth bloodshed and the shooting that just happened, every cop in Orlando is going to have eyes on Glokk 9, and it sounds like a setup to me to be letting him out. Police know people want him dead, and they expect some form of retaliation after his friend was just killed. Courts will make...
And that's another thing too, man. Police be knowing sometimes what they doing too. They not doing this just because. They doing it because they know potentially he could do something that's gonna get him locked back up, or somebody else on the opposite side is gonna be going after him and trying to jam him up and potentially kill him or get him to commit a crime where he gets locked back up. So either way, it's going pretty much hand in hand. Like, they don't care what happens to him, but as long as they able to get him in jail, that's all that matters to them. Or they really don't care if something does happen to him. That just means he's another problem that they ain't got to worry about. Now they just got to worry about the rest of the guys that's involved in the situation. But that's really pretty much how they think too, man. Y'all already know.
Make you stay within the same county at a specific listed address, and he isn't in a position to risk another gun charge with the amount of time he's already facing. While being a talented rapper, it seems looking from the outside in, he's more in the streets than the industry. And the streets are slowly taking his career from him, along with everyone else around him. Now, it's made news that the FBI has moved into Orlando, and obviously Glokk 9 ain't scared of nobody. He ain't scared to be on bond. He's not scared to be out. And he's going to do what he's got to do to survive, right? That's the game. But at the same time, That's the risk of him losing his entire career. And I've been listening to his music as I've been doing his videos. He's snapping, you know what I'm saying? He has the potential to blow bigger than he is. It's just a matter of, can he leave what's happened behind? You know, people got to understand when it comes to deaths, when it comes to people getting killed, it makes things that much realer. And while a lot of people are going to be like, oh, if he gets out and gets locked back up, he's a dumbass. Well, how many of you have been in a position when a whole area of a city is trying to kill you? And you know this because people in your...
Exactly, and people can't really say something like that because at the end of the day, this man got a target on his back. And ultimately, like everybody else, if you got a brain, you're going to try to defend yourself no matter what, even if you know you legally can't do anything that's pretty much able to protect you unless you got large sum of money that you can pay for bodyguards and this and that. But a lot of these rappers don't have that type of money because I know bodyguards, they cost a lot of money to have their services used for you to protect you and stuff like that. So unless you got a big bank like a Drake or a Jay-Z or anybody like that, then you probably ain't gonna be able to get some bodyguards that have them around 24/7 type thing. Like you gotta have them on lock and you gotta be paying heavy bread just to have them around. So at the end of the day, if he get jammed up, of course he's gonna have to try to protect himself if he can. It is what it is. He rather go to jail rather than being the one going in the dirt. I know that, and anybody could tell you they rather go to jail than be killed. Period. So it is what it is with that, man. But we gonna see, man. But that's another thing too. It's hard for people to say, all right, you out now, you should be focused just on your music. But realistically, when you lose somebody close to you like that, anything can happen. You could be tempted to go retaliate or set something up that's gonna happen to the opposite side just because of what happened to your close loved one at the end of the day. So I pretty much can see this going either way, man. He can either go out and just focus on his music and try to get that behind him, or he's gonna somewhat do music but still be really heavily trying to think of a way to retaliate for what happened to his friend. So we just gonna have to wait and see, man. It's all a waiting game right now.
Your circle have died under the same circumstance. And nothing is one-sided. It's not like Glokk 9's a victim. He's taking losses. The other side's taking losses. This is the continuous cycle. What is rare is for somebody to break out of that cycle. And when you're dealing with people that literally have millions, it's like, why beef? I understand it, but I still ask the question, why still do it? You still do it because you were already doing it before you blew up. You blew up off of living that life, speaking on that life. People ask the question, why is rap, why is hip-hop the only genre where everybody's getting killed? Because in my opinion, it's one of the truest and most authentic art forms that there are. Music genres that there are. Because it came from the pain, the suffering, and what really happens inside of the ghettos.
And people gotta realize, yeah, rap today's generation is a lot crazy, but at the end of the day, I still gotta tell you, y'all do realize majority of the rappers from the 90s, 80s was literally rapping about the same shit, just made it sound better because of their lyricists. At the end of the day, they was speaking on stuff that was really going on, drugs, prostitutes, all type of stuff. They all pretty much was rapping about the same exact thing. The only difference is our generation is more grimy with it. They're literally going in detail. They literally talking the whole complete thing of the ghetto. Gangs, money, drugs, stuff that happened in the streets behind the scenes, etc., etc. And that's the only thing. I don't really see why it's a lot of hate or bias judgment towards today's music. Because at the end of the day, they're all pretty much the same exact fucking thing. That's how I look at it. I don't care what nobody say. Everything from the 80s, 90s, and so on until now is literally the same exact thing. It is what it is. Only thing people don't really like is how our generation sounds doing it. They like to talk about the Jay-Z's. They like to talk about the Tupacs. They like to talk about the Biggies and all of that stuff from their time because they sound good to them and how they were doing their music. But today's music, since it's so grimy and stuff, they kind of look at it differently, like we're just doing something completely new and different, and they don't like how it sounds, etc., etc. So it is what it is. But if you ask me, they're all literally the same fucking thing. Yes, we can say Tupac and them did it better because of the way they were putting their music out and sounding real good. But it is what it is, though, man. Everybody is gonna have a bias towards today's generation of rap to the other generations of rap before it. So it is what it is with that, man. But at the end of the day, that's all these rappers really can do, though, to keep their career going, is rap about what really happened. And y'all already see the rappers that get bashed for rapping about what they actually never did or went through or didn't do themselves. So you all see how those turn out for rappers like that. People call them industry studio gangsters at the end of the day. Something like that, studio gangsters. That's what they usually get called if they faking what they rap about. Yeah, a lot of people rather be respected and known for actually doing what they rap about. So if that makes sense, y'all know what I'm talking about.
You know what I mean? It comes from the hood. It comes from the areas where things like this happen, and that is why people are still affected. Because the ones that are speaking on it, rapping about it, have come from that lifestyle or are still involved in that lifestyle. It only makes things that much harder when you're a celebrity, when all eyes are on you from the police, from other gangs, from people you don't even know that are beefing with you. Now, the only plus side to being free, if he's allowed to do it, is he can continue to work. If he can perform shows, he can bring in money and he can fuel his lawyers to fight the other cases that he has standing. And we'll see if he's able to avoid prison time, but most importantly, we'll see if he's able to avoid falling victim to the streets. But with that being said, it's 10 out of J.
And that's pretty much the end of the video, man. So yeah, it's pretty much a waiting game to see what he chooses to do, and if anything possibly could happen to him or not happen and stuff like that. It's all a waiting game. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But that's pretty much the end of this video, man. If you enjoyed the video and liked the reaction to it, make sure you smash that like button and comment and subscribe if you're brand new or you've been watching videos on the channel but not subscribed. But other than that, man, y'all already know what time it is. We're on the ground of 5K, and I'm gonna see y'all later on with more videos. Peace.